Hi, I'm Priscilla, and today I'll be talking about the social learning theory. I'm going to go over the history of the theory, authors of the theory, major tenets of the theory, applications that the theory has been applied to, and critiques of the theory. So, Noam Chomsky and Albert Bandura, they had heavy influence on the theory, but it was Edwin Sutherland in 1939 who developed the theory of differential association, which is the one that our textbook talks about. And that explains how the learning of deviance comes about. And according to social learning theory, deviant behavior is learned through one's own interaction with their environment and others, and pretty much is based on their observation of that. The major tenets of the theory that I found were that learning isn't a purely behavioral process. It's rather a cognitive process that takes place in a social context. So like I was saying earlier, people learn it through their environments. Learning also can happen by observing behavior and also observing the consequences of that behavior. And from these observations, individuals can make decisions about how the behavior was performed, meaning that learning can occur without, a change that was observed in that behavior. Reinforcement also plays a role in learning. And those were just some of the tenets that I found for the theory. So the theory draws heavily on the concept of learning by observing a behavior, pretty much like what I've been saying. Social learning theory, it's been applied and used to explain the emergence and maintenance of deviant behavior. And a experiment that I found that applied social learning theory was done by Ronald Ackers and Robert Burgess. And they were criminologists who used the principles of social learning theory with Edwin Sutherland's differential association theory. And they applied that, and they pretty much came up with like a comprehensive theory that you can apply to social behavior in all social interactions. So the experiment happened in 1961, and it was conducted by Albert Bandura. He conducted what they called the Bobo doll experiment, and this happened, or he used it to investigate if social behaviors, like aggression, could be learned by observing, and if it could be imitated. So pretty much the experiment included 36 boys and 36 girls from Stanford University, like nursing school. And they were ages from 3 to 6. And so 3 groups of 24 of them were separated into different playrooms. And in each playroom, a different scenario was applied. So in one room, 24 of the boys and girls were playing with toys and like stickers. And after about 10 minutes, an adult would come in and they would aggressively attack what they call like a Bobo doll. So it's pretty much like a blowout of a doll that you could like punch and it bounces back at you. So an adult punched that aggressively. And in the other room, the beginning of the experiment was all the same, but there was no adult that came in and aggressively attacked the Bobo doll. Everyone just played normally and not aggressively. And then in the third group, it was used as a control group. So pretty much from that experiment, they found that children who were in the first room with the aggressive adult were more likely to observe and imitate the same behavior. So pretty much the social learning theory was proved to be somewhat true. So following up with that, the critiques of the theory is that it's difficult to apply to like real life situations, which I found a little weird because from the experiment that I just talked about, it was pretty much true that the children who were in the rooms that had an aggressive adult were more likely to perform that aggressive behavior. But the textbook said that people normally can't identify the persons from whom they've learned the deviant ideas from. And there wasn't much empirical support for Sutherland's differential association theory, but rather there was only empirical supports for individual experience, which is where I guess the Bobo doll experiment will fall under. So yeah, that's pretty much all I have on social learning theory. So I hope you enjoyed, and thanks for watching.